Breaking tonight, House Republicans releasing the transcript of yesterday's interview with former FBI Director James Comey. The explosive closed-door meeting included those fiery exchanges between Comey and the House Intelligence Committee, most notably South Carolina Representative Trey Gowdy, especially when Trey Gowdy pressed Comey on why he skirted FBI protocol by sending agents to the White House and interviewing General Michael Flynn without counsel. This was his response, and I quote, "I'd never worked in a transition time before, but my understanding was that in a more established administrative environment, you wouldn't get away with just calling the witness and saying, hey, can we come and talk to you?" Yeah, because I guess Eric Holder wouldn't have allowed that, right? Not to mention, one of those agents sent to the White House was Peter Strzok, who was fired from his job for huge bias. Remember that? The Peter Strzok, Lisa Page texts? We don't have to go through those again. Anyway, joining me right now is attorney Andrew Stoltman. My goodness. Okay, so maybe General Flynn should have realized the severity of it, but clearly he didn't under the circumstances, and James Comey had no problem with that. Is that some kind of violation of something?
You know, there are so many violations here. It's absolutely amazing. Look, nobody said that what Michael Flynn did wasn't wrong, because clearly it was. But in the same sense, this has nothing to do with Russian collusion. This has to do with him lying with respect to Russian collusion when it had to do with FBI agents coming to him, not telling him that he had to have a lawyer, so he got confused. Yes, he lied. Yes, his life has been ruined, but it's not exactly the kidnapping of the Lindbergh baby, Trish.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is the problem, right? Over and over and over again, we see that they're getting them on these technicalities. You screwed up. You didn't answer that one right. You know, look, you can't lie to the feds, right? This is pretty basic.
Yeah.
That said, you know, that's not the actual, that keeps on getting us further and further away from what the heck happened. And then you look at this transcript, my goodness, and you saw how I led the show. I'm disgusted with the fact that James Comey didn't care so much as to even know or care who was paying for the dossier, and didn't think the judge needed to know that. Let me ask, you're a lawyer. I mean, wouldn't the judge kind of need to know where this information was coming from before issuing a FISA warrant?
That's a crucial material piece of information. And I feel like with respect to the public, kind of like Saul on the road to Damascus, the scales are coming off the eyes of the public when it comes to Mr. Comey. You know, what he can't do is, do you remember Sergeant Schultz? And he used to always do the I see nothing, I hear nothing, I know nothing on Hogan's Heroes. Well, that's what Mr. Comey is like. And that's a problem because he's the head of the FBI. Ignorance isn't bliss. He can't not know this stuff. He can't bury his head in the sand like an ostrich.
I didn't care that I didn't know.
You're the head of the FBI. You have to know. I mean, come on. Agreed. That doesn't pass the red face test.
Agreed. But you know what? We've talked about this before. If you're in the club, right? Like if you're friends with, you know, Hillary Clinton and company, somehow you get away with a whole lot more than if you're friends with Donald Trump and company. Is there a different standard in Washington, D.C. right now for those that are Republican and those that are Democrat, Andrew?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a major different standard. I mean, it's an incredible double standard. And what I feel like is the special counsel is kind of like a stumbling, bumbling drunk who, once he sets his eyes on a target, he goes after them with some extraordinarily heavy-handed tactics that a normal prosecutor couldn't get away with. The number on the cost of the investigation is skyrocketing. Nobody is overseeing him right now. He's going down every single rabbit hole he can find. And the result is a lot of innocent people are being sucked into the orbit and spit out.
And this is why a lot of people say it's never good to have a special prosecutor. Andrew, it's good to see you. Thank you so much.